of July, a final look. This is kind of fun. We teased this last time. It's important to circle back around because it is the biggest day of the year. It deserves a little conversation. And what I wanted to do is just talk about what we liked, what we didn't like about this year's parade. What are some of the thumbs up? What are some of the thumbs down, things that we like? We'll start with Miles.
All right. I heard a rumor, it might have been true or not, that they're not allowed to throw the food or candy from the floats and stuff, and then it looked like they were not throwing food. People were handing buckets around, and I'm sure there's a really good reason for it, but it's just lame. Completely lame.
Thumbs down.
There's
thumbs down on the candy.
What?
There was probably 30% of the candy out on the street this time.
We're probably just going to get smashed for unknowingly jumping into this and saying that's stupid without knowing what the reason is. Maybe, but still, it's a parade.
It's liability. You throw candy. Kids run out in the street. Now you know it's going to take somebody like one of the kids darting out for a Tootsie Roll and get run over by a horse to stop the practice. But until that happens, I think we go with it.
And we're raising a generation of kids who don't know how to grab parade candy without getting stomped on by horses.
Oh, that's tragic. And since when did parades become about running out and grabbing candy? That's being
Since always.
That's always. That's always. Bands. People walking down the street, candy.
What is this, Mardi Gras? Next thing you know, we'll be throwing beads?
That's right,
yeah.
Yes. Beads, candy, everything. Stickers. I got to tell you, a year ago I was in the parade and I was throwing bumper stickers out. And I got twice scolded by the little volunteers that were really angry with me to stop throwing bumper stickers. They might hurt somebody. Bumper stickers,
Bumper stickers. But you were winging them like ninja stars. I remember that.
Got to get them to the back row. Anyway, yeah, I got to say, the volunteers, they deserve one of these. They got a huge thumb up. There's a huge cast
just for volunteering
and just for doing it in that heat, they win. They absolutely win.
On the other hand,
I got to take a couple of statements. You got to get the gaps out of the parade. Now, the volunteers are going to blame it on all the people in the parade, and I understand that. There's some dynamic going on, but these huge gaps, people think the parade's over. They're starting to get up. I was packing things up. They're walking out in the street. There's people in the back. One of the cool entries, that shack, a lot of people missed it because it was so far in the back and the gap in front of them was so big. And then there were some of these entries that had like 6 or 7 different things, and they walked by, and then about halfway through, I forgot what I was looking at. There was a guy with a cannon and a bald head, and I'm like, what's he doing here? And then I realized he was with the circus thing that was way down there. They got to tighten it up, streamline a little bit. So I'm not trying to criticize the volunteers, but I'm saying, yeah, they need to.
It was fun, as all parades are. It was fun. It was not my favorite parade of all time by any stretch.
And you, as you said last time, you've been at almost 40 of these.
Every one of them except for 1976.
Since 1967.
Right.
That's beautiful. You missed 1976.
Yeah.
That disqualifies. That's the most important one.
It was a bicentennial. I know. I was in Philadelphia. Sorry.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate this parade?
They're all good. 8, 7. They're all good.
It was an Ashland parade. It's automatically a 10.
Here's the biggest thing. No, it's not automatically a 10. The theme was American music, and probably 70% of the entrants had no music.
Okay, let's talk about themes a little bit.
Okay, talk about the theme. American music, that's cool. That was fun. Did you put anything into the parade?
Like from the guy that gave it a 10.
Well, it's an Ashland parade. It gets 10. But on a scale of Ashland parades from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6.
Okay, let me tell you some things I really did like. This is what made the parade better. One of them was this guy that the renegade break into the parade guy on a bike. Very cool. He was doing flips. He was clearly not supposed to be in the parade. At one point, I think they caught on to him, and he dashed over and sat next to these kids and waited for the parade to go by, because I think the volunteers realized that's fun. I think that adds a little bit to it. This kid wasn't going to go through and pay his $75 fee, but people loved him. Thumbs up for that kid. He was really good.
That's right. And we had a whole list of topics. What was the one you liked? Oh, the guy with the sign.
The Californicator.
We didn't do anything about that in the paper.
No, we never talked about it.
Responders on the website are going crazy back and forth about this guy who was holding up a sign saying Californicators go home or something.
Yeah, and that's old. He's got to come up with something a little better than that. Not to mention the fact that probably 50% of the people living here in Ashland are from California. And gee, it's a long ride home. It's 12 miles. It's not like, we're out in a whole, New York City. We're 12 miles across the border. That's pretty weak.
Yeah. All those years I was coming to the parade, I was coming from California.
That's right. Yeah. That was weak. But I didn't really care. The guy gets in. That's what he wants to do. That's all. That's what makes it really fun is the craziness, the costumes. That stuff is all good. I was very disappointed. I got to find out from Ron. I don't know what happened to the dancing wontons, but they weren't in the parade this year.
Oh, I didn't even notice
That's a big change. That tells you old Ashland's changing a little bit.
Wow.
That's a big change. That's
Maybe,
one of the
maybe
best
they
ones.
were too political and they didn't want to pay the extra $40 or whatever.
Yeah.
What about attendance? Was attendance up or down or the same?
I think it was up. No, it's probably about. It's hard to say, but down towards the beginning, there were a lot of spaces.
Really?
Yeah, you could sit on the median. You could walk right up an hour before the parade and get some grass on the median right at the beginning of the parade.
That sounds low.
Yeah, so that sounds a little low.
Up, I'm at the other end, and it seemed about normal.
Well, we had, the one topic that I think is the most interesting that came up, and we'll see it in the letters, and Miles and I have already written about it, but I think it's worth mentioning, is when is it fair to put your stuff out? And this year, they opened up the medians a little earlier, and you got a lot more people kind of spreading out and putting out 9 tarps and 18 chairs. And
well, for the count,
I think first come, first serve. Let's have it out in the morning.
We wrote a point counterpoint on that, and I kind of took a different side just because that's what we're supposed to do on point counterpoint. But I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
it's
just
stupid to go out there 2 days or even a day early.
It's not necessary.
Just go down and go to the parade. Wake up that morning and you go down and see the parade.
Yeah, and there's a good seat for everybody. Now, maybe the town is the group that has been there for 10 years won't get the one seat they always want, but
that's what elbows are for.
Hey, overall, I got to say, a huge round of applause to the Chamber of Commerce. They do that every year. They deserve the parade. All those volunteers, it's such a great thing. All right.